Hello, everyone. Taking part in conversations is obviously a key skill which can take time to master. One element of this form of communication is not just being able to respond to questions that you're being asked, but to also ensure that the viewpoint you wish to express is clear to others. So, how can we do that? Well, the answer is there are a number of ways in which we can achieve this. So, firstly, train your ears. Make sure you practice listening to others speak. So, using subtitles on your television or watching videos online will help you to be able to understand what is being said. Also, you should learn key words because there are words that we associate with key topics. So if you remind yourselves of the key words, well, then you're better able to listen for them and understand them in conversation. Listen for other key words such as who, what, when, where, why, and how, as they will often signify the start of a new topic or question. You should also think about using the wording of the question or some of the wording from another member in the group to show not only that you've been listening, but this will then give you the platform to add your own thoughts. For example, someone might say, I enjoyed the film last night, but I didn't like the end. Your response could be something such as, I thought the end of the film wasn't terrible, but I did prefer other parts. So you can hear and you can see how we have used what the other person has said to help us create our own response. Also, if in doubt, you can always check that the members of the discussion are clear on what you have mentioned. This can simply be achieved by uttering things such as, do you agree? Or what is your view? Always, as again, the best way to ensure we have a masterful understanding of this is just to practice, because the more familiar, more confident you are with the skill, well, obviously, the easier it will be for you to use it in future. Some things to think about as well when we're expressing our opinions are if we are happy, of course, we could use words such as ecstatic, delighted, overwhelmed, joyous, exhilarated, jubilant, overjoyed, merry, blessed, gleeful, jolly, and perky. Remember, though, to make sure you understand the subtle differences between them. Some examples of how they might be used: I was happy when my nan came to stay. I felt ecstatic when I passed my exams. I was overjoyed at the birth of my son. The opposite of this, obviously, is the feeling of sadness. And if you are sad, you might use words such as low, depressed, weepy, down, teary, upset, and unhappy. Some sentences as examples: I was so depressed when my pet rabbit died. Her words made me feel really unhappy. That TV show made me weepy. If we're angry, well, then you might use words such as annoyed, bitter, enraged, exacerbated, furious, irritated, outraged, offended, or resentful. And again, you might use that in sentences such as these. I was so annoyed when I failed my English test. That, she wrote, made me furious. His behaviour irritated me. Some of the sentence starters that you could use are things like I did or didn't like, don't like, I preferred, I thought it was. And then obviously, if you're trying to express a strong emotion, you might use sentence starters such as I'm absolutely convinced. It is obvious to me, as far as I'm concerned. If you're trying to show an opinion which is slightly more reluctant or less certain, well, then you can start with sentences such as I suppose that, as far as I understand it, and it seems to me that. Then finally, if you're trying to express an objective opinion, so one which is quite neutral, you might use words such as apparently, I've heard that, the research seems to suggest, which suggests you're not making a clear decision either way. So, thank you. Now it's time for you to practice and revise.